Okay guys, let's look at 4.05, converting forms of lines. So the first thing that they ask, I've got an equation in point-slope form. Remember that point-slope form looks like this. Okay, y minus my first y value equals m, which is our slope, times x minus our first x value. So I can pull my point out here. I'm going to pull my x value. Notice that it is minus. Oh, this one's plus. So remember, when I subtract a negative, I do get a positive here. So that's why when I pull my x value out, it would be a -1, because I should have started with a minus. But here I have that plus sign. Same thing with the +2. When I pull it out, I do get -2. And my slope is just right here. It is 1/3. So all I'm going to do, I'm going to find my point, -1, -2. So -1, -2, and I'm going to put my point there. And my slope is 1/3, so that means I'm going to rise 1. Okay, I'm just going to kind of do this in purple so you can see it a little bit. And I'm going to run 3. 1, 2, 3. And I'm going to put my new point right there. Use your piece of paper, your index card, whatever you need. And you can also do it one more time. Rise 1, run 3. Put another point. You could do that as many times as you need to get a good line. Just draw your line. And you are done on that one. Okay, and that gives you a great idea of where that's at. Okay, now this one is a line in standard form. Sorry, an equation in standard form depicting this line. So what I would do is I would take these 2 points and I'm going to find the slope between them. Okay, so I'm going to make this be my second pair, this be my first. Okay, remember our slope formula is y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. So I'm going to take the y from my second pair minus the y from my first pair over the x from my second pair minus the x from my first pair. Here's that minus a negative again. Remember, that means plus a positive. So anything minus 0 is itself, over 6.5 plus 2 is 8.5. Okay, so I've got y minus y1. I'm going to start with point slope just because it's a little easier for me to start here. So I'm going to multiply both of these by 2 just so it's easier to plug in. So -6.5 is -13 over 17. Okay, that way I've got whole numbers instead of decimals in a fraction. Okay, so I'm just going to pick this one because it looks easier to me. And I'm going to say, okay, y minus 0 equals -13/17 x minus -2, so that would be x plus 2. Now to get it in standard form, I have to have the x and the y both on the left. So I'm going to start with my distributive property. So I'm going to distribute this 13/17. So the 0 over here goes away. So I'll have -13/17 x plus -26/17. To get rid of the 17 on the bottom, I'm going to multiply a 17 across everything. Okay, so I'm going to distribute that 17. So 17 will multiply by y. 17 times 17 here will go away. 17 times -26 over 17, those will cancel out. I'm left with this. Now I've got to get my x on the left. So I've got a negative 13x. So I'm going to add 13x to create that 0 pair. And I do end up with 13x plus 17y equals negative 26. Okay, so I could get this one. Now, if you get to a question like this and say, oh my goodness, I'm lost, what you can do, I would pick the easier of the two pairs, which is negative 2, 0 here, and I would plug them in. Negative 2 times 13 would be negative 26 minus 17 times 0. That's not positive 26. That would be negative 26. So that couldn't have been my answer. Plug it in here. Negative 2 times 13. That's negative 26. Plus 9 times 0, 0. Negative 26 does not equal negative 22. That's not it. Same thing here. 13 times negative 2 gives me negative 26. Minus 9 times 0 gives me negative 26. That ain't it. So this one has to be your answer. Okay, so you could go through this if you want to do all the math and make sure that you've got it worked out, but you could also try your points. Okay, now let's look at this one. What is the equation of the line shown in the graph? Notice that we are going up and down here, and I've got a point of negative 2, 2, and negative 2, negative 3. Oops, I'm going to put another point right here on my line. That point is negative 2, 0. I could put another point down here if I wanted. Negative 2, negative 4. I'm kind of seeing a trend. Do you see this? All of these x values are the same. Every time x equals negative 2. So an undefined slope line, one that is up and down, has a slope that is undefined, is an x equals equation. So here would be negative 2 because every x value would be negative 2. If I had a line over here, it would be x equals 4, and so on. Okay, now this one, I need to write an equation of this line. So I'm going to write it in slope-intercept form because that is the easiest to get from. So this one, I see that my y-intercept is where it crosses that y-axis. Is it 4? That goes here. Now this m is my slope. My slope is my rise over run. So I'm going to find another point. I see that I can identify a point right here. So I'm going to count my rise over run. So I'm going down, which means it's a negative. Negative 1, negative 2, negative 3, and I'm going to run 1, 2. So negative 3 over 2. And that is my equation for that line. So let's look at this one. The first thing I'm going to do, rewrite my slope-intercept form, and I'm going to find that y-intercept, where it crosses the y-axis, and it looks like it intersects right here, and that is between 2 and 4 at 3. So now I'm just going to find another point. It looks like it crosses exactly right there. Okay, I could have also picked, whoops, does not cross exactly right there. Let me just cross that one out. Sorry. It crosses exactly here. Okay, so let's go ahead and find the rise over run. We're going to go down, which is a negative. We're going to go down 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So negative 5 over negative 1, negative 2, negative 3. Well, a negative over a negative does make a positive. So this would be 5/3 x plus 3. And this was 4.05, converting forms of lines.